Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Cloud, and welcome to my personal VOD reviews of Locals. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at Game 2 of Week 5 of the OP11 Meta, where I played Green Yellow Yamato versus Blue Buggy. Here's the deck list that I played in this match, and if you haven't already done so, please go check out the Locals retro video I made that covers this deck list and my overall thoughts on how Locals went this week. Without further ado, let's hop into the game. Game number 2 for Week 5 of the OP11 Meta. I'm playing Green Yellow Yamato versus Blue Buggy. And this is actually going to be my first time playing against a Buggy in person, especially the updated OP11 deck list for Buggy, so it's going to be a very interesting matchup. My first impressions though is that this is going to be quite difficult for Yamato once again, just because Buggy is one of those leaders that's able to establish a lot of blockers, actually a lot of high cost blockers, very quickly, which is annoying for Yamato to deal with. Not to mention, this is a deck list that likes to go wide very fast as well, so if I don't control the board a little bit here, they're going to go really wide and attack me multiple times for like 5k, 6k attacks, which is going to be really annoying for me to also deal with, so gotta keep that in mind. Let's see here as we do the deck cut. And I do believe that this time around my opponent wanted to do odd and even for the dice roll, so I think they chose odd. Let's see what they get. My opponent is going to roll a 5. Alright, so they get to choose turn order. And it looks like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know whether or not I want to be going first or second, but it looks like they choose to go first, which I believe is the better turn for Buggy. So hopefully me going second will be alright. I do like playing second with Yamato, so it works out for me, but Buggy is also going to be on their better curve, which makes me a little worried. But let's take a look at our initial opening hand here. Okay, that's good enough. We've got 1 cost Yamato, 2 cost Izo, 3 cost Izo, 7 cost Hody Jones, and 0 cost You're the One Who Should Disappear. Let's do our counter check. We've got a 1k, 1k, 2k, and a 3k. Very nice. In total, we have 7k counter total in hand. A really high number, and a very good spread of counters. So I'm really liking the amount of counters we have in hand right now. Looking at the cards, I'm really happy to see the first 2 cards on the left here. The 1 cost Yamato, which is my searcher for the deck. Helps me look at top 5 for a land of Wano, which means I can hopefully look for a card I might need in this matchup. But more importantly, if I'm able to play it early, it can become a 5k attacker later. So very nice to see that. The 2 cost Izo is another card that I'm really happy to see because it can give my leader banish and serve as a chunk blocker later, or early if I need to, if I attach 2 Dawn to it. So very good card to have in hand. I'm also really happy to see Hody Jones. Whenever you're going against a deck that plays blockers that are high cost or multiple blockers like the Buggy here, having Hody Jones is just reassurance for later in the game since you can rest anything with it. So, pretty happy with this hand. I would not mind keeping this at all. But let's see what I choose to do here. I don't know what I would be mulliganing with since I am happy with the cards in hand. So, okay, yeah, looks like we decided to keep, while my opponent decided to mulligan. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up to get through their shuffling. And they did that real quick, I guess. Setting up his life. Alright, and we're ready to go. Fist bump to start the game. And my opponent kicks it off. 1 Dawn. I'm going to tap the 1 Dawn to play out the Mr. 3 Searcher. I think that's Mr. 3, right? Yes, Mr. 3. I'm not too familiar with the entire names and the cards in Buggy's deck list, so bear with me here if I make mistakes. And they're going to choose the 5-cost Kabaji, which is the 2k counter from OP09. Okay, so I know they have a 2k counter in hand. Pass to me, I draw for turn. It is the 1-cost Gum Gum Elephant Gatling, and then I go 2 Dawn. Tap 1 Dawn to play out Yamato, letting me search the top 5 for a Land of Wano card that is 2 costs or higher. Let's see. Out of the cards in hand, we've got 4-cost Kikunojo, 2-cost Izo, 0-cost You're the One Who Should Disappear, 4-cost Hiyori, and 4-cost Kinemon. Which card would I want to take, knowing the cards in my hand? The 2-cost, or sorry, not 2-cost, the 2k counter is really nice because I have a backup 2k counter to use besides the Izo. I'm thinking I might need to keep the Izo around to potentially rest a blocker, but in this matchup, I know a lot of the blockers in Buggy's decks are actually 5 costs, so this Izo might not be that effective in the match, so having more 2ks might be good. Otherwise, the Izo would also be a good pick. Having, 2 banish in hand means that I can do back-to-back banish, which might allow me to be able to tax my opponent's hand or life. So those would be my 2 picks, either the Izo or the 2k counter. But let's see what I decide to do here. I've got the counter in hand, so right now, watching this again, I'm leaning towards the Izo, and yep, I choose to take it. I think the back-to-back Izo banish is going to be really good, so that I can burn cards from hand, or just banish the life so they don't get the cards into hand. Nothing else to do on my turn, so I pass back to my opponent. They're going to draw for turn, and they go up to 3 Dawn. They're going to just attach all 3 Dawn to their leader and go 8k at my life. 8k is quite a lot, and I don't want to burn the counter in my hand. Unfortunately, it is the 4-cost Kinemon, which has a nice trigger, but because my opponent is not at 3 or less life, I cannot trigger it, so it just goes to hand. Pass back to me, I draw for turn. It looks like it's the 2-cost Hiyori, and I go up to 4 Dawn. The 2-cost Hiyori is really nice for helping me set up cards in my life, but it looks like I'm choosing to attach all my Dawn to my leader and go a big 9k double attack to my opponent's life. And they choose to take it, not countering out. So I did have the, pause real quick, I did have the Izo in hand, so I could have played out the Izo for 2 Dawn and just simply gone a 7k double attack banish, which would have potentially let me trash those 2 cards from their life instead of adding it to hand. But I saw them take a 2k counter early, which made me feel like they would have enough counter in hand to get out of it, right? And with Yamato, you should know that getting your opponent down to 3 or less life is really good so that it turns on my leader ability and potentially turns on any of the triggers in my life. So I just went the big 9k to try to make sure that I can try to get them down to 3 or less life. 9k is a lot. It means that they would have to burn, I'm hoping for a 2k, a 2k, and a 1k. That's 3 cards from hand. So I think 9k was the right choice here. I do have a lot of counter in hand, so if I do get attacked a lot, it should be fine to counter out. Plus, they haven't played any big characters yet, so I'm not too worried about getting hit multiple times at the moment. Going back to my opponent, they draw for turn and they go 5 Dawn. They also have a lot of cards in hand now since I just gave them 2 more. I want to say that's like 9, 10 cards maybe in hand. Looks like they're going to use Buggy's leader ability, which we haven't really talked about yet, so I'm going to pause real quick before they do it completely. But Buggy is a blue 5k power slash leader with 5 life that says activate main, you may rest 5 of your Dawn cards and trash 1 card from hand. Play up to 1 cross guild type character from your hand. So now that they're at 5 Dawn, they can just start playing any cross guild type character for free. or not for free, but for 5 Dons, letting them cheating out anything higher costs. They're going to discard the event there, the cross guild event, and play out the 8-cost Crocodile Mihawk from starter deck. 20. Ooh. I remember, I think it's 25? Yes, 25. Let's take a look at this Crocodile Mihawk. It is a very strong card. Crocodile Mihawk is an blue 8-cost 7,000 power slash and special character with no counter that says on play, draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from your hand, then play up to 1 cross guild type character card with a cost of 4 less from your hand. Once per turn, if your cross guild type character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may trash 1 card from your hand instead. So a very good card for the Buggy deck. It lets them play out a 4-cost right now, and it also lets them draw 2, trash 1. So it lets them filter their hand, gain a little bit of card advantage, and not only that, it lets them have board protection from any KO effects, or just any removal effects, in fact. So a very strong card. Very scary indeed. So they're going to draw 2, trash an Alvida, and then they're going to play out an Alvida, which is another good card. So let's take a look at Alvida. Alvida is a blue 4-cost 5,000 power strike character with 1k counter that says if you have 2 or more characters with a base cost of 5 or more, this character gains +1 cost. On play, if your leader is Buggy, draw 3 cards, trash 2 cards from hand. So that's crazy. They drew 5 cards this turn and discarded 3 cards this turn. That's a lot. And the 2 cards they discarded from the Alvida effect is a 6-cost Mihawk, which is a blocker. Interesting. And the 7-cost Crocodile. Right? So, yeah, here we are. They're starting to go pretty wide and pretty tall. But since they used all their Dawn, all they can do now is a 5k swing with their leader to my life. I probably should counter this, but the only 1k counters I have in hand are my Izos, which I don't really want to give up here. So I'm actually going to give up a 2k counter to get out of this, since I don't want to go lower on life at the moment. Having the Izo in hand is really good, so keeping them around to try to banish whatever life he has left. I draw for turn. It was the 3-cost Astra Doji, which isn't going to be doing much for me here since I can't KO anything now. And then I'm going to go up to 6 Dawn. This would have been a very nice turn to have the 6-cost Momonosuke, but I don't see it. So instead, we're going to actually go for the banish play. I tap 2 Dawn, play out the Izo, giving banish to my leader. And we're going to go a massive 9k double attack banish with my leader to my opponent's life. Gotta do this now, since they did not establish any blockers this turn. They're going to give me a 2k, a 2k, and a 2k. Wow, 3 2ks to get out of a 9k banish swing. So that's pretty good for me. I now know they gave up that Kabaji that Kabaji that they drew earlier. So really nice burning those 2ks from hand. And then because they are 3 at less, I'm going to go ahead and attach 2 Rested Dawn to my Yamato and swing 5k to my opponent's life, which they take. I pass my turn back to them. They're going to go up to 7 Dawn, draw for turn. I still haven't dealt with their board. It's really scary knowing that they have a 7k and a 5k on board. I only have 6 cards in hand. Not too many counter. So we'll see what I can do. They're going to start off with a 3k with their Mr. 3 to my 0 power Yamato. Sorry, not 5k, 3k. It's okay. You know what I meant there. 3k to 0. Have to let that go. I could have made the Izo a blocker using leader ability instead of attacking with Yamato last turn, but knowing I have Hody Jones in hand, I want to try to do another double attack if I can next turn to get these last 2 life gone, and then set up for Hody Jones as soon as possible. So no no blocker for me, so I'm going to have to deal with every attack that's going to be coming my way. But it looks like they're starting off with leader ability, tapping 5 Dawn, trashing another 6-cost Mihawk to play out a 6-cost Mihawk. Okay, they had 3 6-cost Mihawks in hand. Crazy. This Mihawk is another good card for them, so let's take a look at that. It is a blue 6 cost 7,000 power slash character with no counter. That's a blocker and says on play, draw 2, trash 1. And they choose to trash a Kabaji. Wow, that's another 2k counter they're trashing here. Makes me feel like they've just got a lot of 2k counters in hand if they're trashing 2ks. Okay, my opponent's gonna go ahead and start with the 5k to life using Alvita. 5 to 5. I have to give up a 1k counter here. I have the Ashura Doji, which I'm not going to be using this game since I can't KO anything, and counter out for 1k. They take their last 2 Dawn, attach it to the Buggy leader, and go 7k at my life. 7k to 5k. I have to give up 3k counter here. I decide to take it. It is an Ashura Doji, no trigger. And they go another 7k with the Mihawk, Crocodile and Mihawk. Another 7k to 5k. And this time I'm choosing to use the 0 cost event, trashing the Ashura Doji to go up to 8k to get out of it. Alright. Draw for turn, it is the 2 cost Hiyori, and then I'm going to go up to 8 Dawn. They have 1 blocker on board. Unfortunately, it is a 6 cost blocker, which is hard for me to rest unless I play Hody Jones. But if I play Hody Jones now, then I'm going to be going down to 1 life, which is really scary. But something I have to recognize right now. Let's see if I actually do it. Yes, I do. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Hody Jones regardless of the fact that I will be taking my own life here. So I rest the blocker, take the life. It is another Blaze Slice. And the reason why I'm doing this is for a very particular reason. Buggy is a deck that likes to try to establish 5 characters on board that are all cross-guild, I think. Yeah. Does it have to be cross-guild? Let me quickly check. Where is the card? That's not the one. It doesn't have to be cross-guild. Well, it's a deck that likes to establish at least 5 cost or higher characters on board. And the reason for that is for the 10 cost Buggy, which I'll put on screen right now. This Buggy is a blue 10 cost 12,000 power slash character with no counter that says, on play, place up to one of your opponent's character at the bottom of your owner's deck. Then if you do not have 5 characters with a cost of 5 or more, place this character at the bottom of the owner's deck. So it is a really big character with a built-in red rock effect. But you need to have 5 characters on board that cost 5 or more in order to keep it around. So that's why you can see the Buggy player is trying to establish those 5 cost characters right now. And I can see that they've already got 3 right here. They just need 2 more, which is going to be very easy for them to do next turn if they choose to do something like another Crocodile and Mihawk. And they're going to hit that threshold in order for them to start playing the Buggy, which is going to be really difficult for me to deal with. So at this point, I know I have to control the board a little bit. If I'm able to just get rid of some of these characters that cost 5 or higher, then I know that I'll have a better time trying to deal with the 10 cost Buggy since it's harder for them to play with it. So I'm risking it here, playing the Hody Jones early. I'm pretty sure I should be going after board right now. If I don't go after board right now, this is a huge gamble that I don't think is going to be giving me a good payout. I'm thinking about it right now because I could just do double attack, with my leader to life and then Hody Jones to life to try to end the game. But Buggy players tend to have a lot of 2Ks. So yeah, we're going to go 8k to the 5k here, which is really good. I get rid of the Alvita. They don't counter it. So now I don't have to worry about that 5 costs. I choose to go 5k at Mr. 3 here. 5k to 2k. Honestly, I didn't really have to do this. Oh, what? He gave me counter. Okay, sorry. Made a mistake there. I think I actually went 5k to life. So that's why he gave me the 2k counter. That makes sense. There's no point of me attacking the Mr. 3 here. because it is only a 1 cost. There's no way to boost this up to 5 costs. So just going 5k to life means that they have to burn some kind of counter to avoid the double attack. So they gave me a 2k. And then with my leader ability, attach Tudon to my Izo, make it a blocker, so that I can at least have a blocker in 1 life still against this upcoming attack, which is going to be really hard for me to survive. Let's see if I can do it. Pass back to my opponent. They are now going to be at their 9 Dawn turn. And yeah, you gotta remember Buggy's leader ability, which is they can tap 5 Dawn to play any cross guild. They can cheat out this Buggy, the 10 cost Buggy, for only 5 Dawn, which is really scary for me. So it's a good thing that I tried to clear out my opponent's board a little bit here. They don't have 5 cost characters or more on the board. Good play from me. They're down to 5 cards in hand. And I've got 6 cards in hand. I don't have Hody Jones anymore, which is a little unfortunate. But if I can protect the Hody, I still have the Izo in hand, so I can try to banish my opponent's 2 life next turn. If they don't play any blockers. If they do, I'm going to have to somehow deal with that. Looks like my opponent is starting off by tapping 5 Dawn to use leader ability, trashing the 10 cost Buggy from hand, and playing out the 7 cost Buggy. Okay. I'll put this one on screen, but I won't read it out because I don't think it's going to affect the game that much since I'm not playing a low cost aggro deck. And then they're going to actually play out the 6 cost Buggy from, I think, the 7 cost Buggy's effect. Am I wrong there? Oh yeah, okay, actually, yeah, so the 7 cost Buggy lets him play out a 6 cost or lower cross skill type character from hand, so he plays out the 6 cost Mihawk blocker. Crazy, actually. Now he's got 2 blockers. And then he's gonna attach Tudon to his leader and go 7k at my life. Choosing whether or not to counter out of this, knowing that they still have a 7k attack with the Crocodile Mihawk and 2 Dawn. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and tap 1 Dawn to play the Blaze Slice. That's right, because I only played Hody Jones last turn, I did save that 1 Dawn. So playing out the Blaze Slice is really nice. And then I give another 2k counter to go up to 8k to get out of this. But before we move on, let's look at Blaze Slice because it's very important for this turn. The Blaze Slice here, if I can click on it, is a 1 cost yellow event that says main/counter up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 1000 power during this turn. Then if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. It also has a trigger that says rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Unfortunately, they don't have a blocker that costs 4 or less. They have 2 6 cost blockers right here. So it can't really utilize that effect. I could rest Mr. 3, which I think I did for fun. Did I not? Oh, I chose not to. Interesting. Okay. I probably should have done that for fun. Or just maybe to avoid a 5k swing, maybe, but I could have rest something, that's the point. But the important part is actually that I gain plus 1000 power for the turn. So I know my opponent has one more 7k swing here. By giving my leader plus 1000 power, I know that I'm going to have to spend less counter in hand to get out of whatever swing he's doing right now, which looks like it's going to be a 9k swing at my life, I think. So I'm going to use the Hody blocker, or sorry, not the Hody, the Izo blocker to get out of that. I guess the Blaze Slice didn't matter here. That's okay. The point is that it would have been good if he swung more. Going back to me, I draw for turn. It is the 3 cost Izo. I go up to 10 Dawn. This is where things kind of hurt because I do not have Hody Jones now to rest the blockers. Again, my opponent is close to having 5 cost or more characters on board, which means that a 10 cost Buggy can potentially come down here. Only have 5 cards in hand. It's a very scary turn for me, actually. Looking at the cards in my hand, I don't think I have any good plays right now. So I guess we're going to force something out. We're going to go ahead and tap 2 Dawn to play out the Izo, giving my leader Banish. And I think this is mainly because I want a blocker on board for next turn. So might as well just give my leader Banish. And because I have Banish, I probably should just go ahead and swing out life here. Deciding how many Dawn I want to attach to my leader. I probably should keep 1 Dawn up because I do have the 1-cost Gum Gum Elephant Gatling in hand, which can give my leader plus 3k for a battle. It is a 3k counter. We're gonna go ahead and attach. Ooh. Yeah, it's a tough decision, I guess. The numbers. Okay. We settle on 4 Dawn on my leader to go 9k. Double attack Banish at my opponent's life, which they choose to block. Alright, that's good for me. They only have 3 cards in hand that I'm noticing it, so attach my last 3, not last 3, but 3 Dawn to my Hody Jones to go 11k at the Crocodile Mihawk, which they decide to let go. Interesting. That's very nice for me. And then because my opponent is at 3 or less life, I take the 2 Rested Dawn and attach it to my Izo to establish a blocker. So not too bad for me. I was able to get rid of 2 of their 5-cost or higher characters on board. So the 10-cost Buggy is looking a little less threatening right now. I also established a blocker, so I'm not afraid of dying this turn. Buggy doesn't play any rush characters. And he would have to attack with his blocker too if he wants to try to go for game. So I think I'm feeling pretty safe here. My opponent's gonna go ahead and tap 5 Dawn to use leader ability, trashing the 7-cost Buggy, to play out another 8-cost Crocodile Mihawk. Oh no. This lets them draw 2 cards, trash 1 card, and then play out a 4-cost or less character, which is going to be I think that's Moji, right? Yeah, Moji. This is a very good card from the starter deck because Moji is a blue 4-cost 1000 power wisdom character with 2k counter that says if you have 2 or more characters with a base cost or 5 or more, this character gains blocker and plus 1 cost. And then on KO, if your leader is Buggy and you have 3 or less cards in hand, draw 1 card. That's really bad for me because he was able to establish 2 characters with 5 costs or more, which means that he can use leader ability again, tapping another 5 Dawn. And there it is, the 10-cost Buggy, which lets him bottom deck my Hody Jones, and the Buggy gets to stay on board. So now I am in trouble. I just lost my biggest attacker. I don't have another Hody Jones in hand. So yeah, this is pretty scary for me. They did use all their Dawn, so I know that only a 5k attack is coming here with leader. And if you choose to attack with anything else. So because I think I'm going to be dead next turn, I go ahead and just take this to see what card it is in hand. I'm not afraid of dying this turn, but I know that the next turn I am most likely dead. So I gotta just see all my options while I can. So it was the Izo, which is really nice for me. Having that Banish right now is really good, so I can potentially get rid of those 2 last life. And he chooses to go 7k with the 6-cost Mihawk at me. Very interesting. Oops. That wasn't really a 7 there. 7. And I choose to give up 2 2Ks for this. Huh. Alright. I could have blocked, keeping those counter in hand. But... alright, I guess keeping it around means that I potentially could attach 4 Dawn on the Izo and attack. Or maybe I just forgot I had a blocker. Lucky. That's happened before. But here's the nice thing. Alright, sorry. Pause real quick. Yes, I do. Turn passes back to me. I draw for turn. It is the 6 cost Momo, which is very nice. But the crazy thing is that he chooses to attack with his 6 cost Mihawk blocker. And 6 cost is a very important number because a lot of the cards in my deck, such as this Gum Gum Elephant Gatling, can rest 5 costs and less. And this Moji, which is his other blocker, is currently only 5 costs. So by attacking with this 7 cost blocker, he no longer has double blockers up, and I am able to rest this last blocker. So I play the Gum Gum Elephant Gatling for 1 Dawn, and then tapping another Dawn to use its ability. So I can rest that blocker there. He's got no blockers. I fortunately drew that Izo from life, so I'm going to go ahead and tap 2 Dawn to play out the Izo, giving my leader Banish. And because I know he has no cards in hand, this is a very easy 5k double attack Banish, which he has to take and send to trash. And then fortunately, because I do have the Momonosuke in hand, 6 cost 1, or because I have the Izo, I can just attach the Dawn and go 1 final swing, which it looks like this is a 7k swing, to my opponent and go for game. And I take it. Woo! That was really close. So yeah, it all came down to him attacking with that Mihawk. I'm honestly surprised he did that because if my opponent decided to keep both blockers up, you can see how difficult this situation is for me to break through. I did have a blocker, again, which is really interesting why he decided to attack there, knowing that I had a blocker. Maybe he forgot too. But if he kept both his blockers up, how do I get through this, right? He's got no cards in hand. I fortunately did draw the Momonosuke, right? 6 cost Momonosuke, which is a rush option. I'm trying to get it on screen here. Give me a second. Okay, so that's my hand. So I can play potentially, let's imagine the Mihawk is up, right? So they have 2 blockers, 5 cost and a 6 cost. I can play the Gum Gum Elephant Gatling to rest the Moji. That's 2 Dawn. So I go from 10 Dawn down to 8 Dawn, -2. I definitely have to play this 6 cost in order to have another attacker. So that's going to be, -6 to go down to 2 Dawn here. But here's the issue. With this Mihawk on board, there's no way for me to win, right? Because if I have to get through 2 life, and I need 3 attacks, or at least 2 attacks if I'm able to get leader ability in. But if I attack leader ability first, he just blocks. And now with my 2 attacks, I can't do anything. I don't even have enough Dawn. Really? I have enough to get him to 5k. But yeah, you can see that he just kind of lives here. He blocks my double attack, then with the 2 final swings from my Momonosuke and my Izo, he just puts into hand and he's safe. There's no other way for me to get out of this. So by him attacking with the Mihawk, that's a huge misplay on his end and gave me the opportunity to take the game. So, woo! Very close game. Overall, I think we both played pretty well. On my end, I did a decent job controlling the board somewhat. It was really scary having to play the Hody Jones early, but I knew I need to, otherwise he just establishes a really high cost, high power, wide board, which I can't deal with. So I think overall I played this pretty well. And I got pretty lucky high rolling all the Izos, really, to get the banish in. So, alright, let me know in the comments below if you think I could have done anything better or anything different. Otherwise, GG's to my opponent, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Until next time, remember, keep your minds fresh and your spirits free. See ya!